Okay. This is the next part in the series. I just kind of made that, you know, what do you call it? Promise to myself that I would complete this INTJ versus MBTI Bullies series. And the group we're going to focus on today, the MBTI type we're going to focus on, are ENTPs. I just want to say it's hilarious that I didn't start the series with ENTPs. I think it's because I wasn't trying to make a series. Like, I made this particularly because I was having a problem with the ESTJ. But now that we're here, you know why we're here. Okay, we're here to talk about ENTPs. So, how are ENTPs bullies? I mean, I guess a better question is, how are they not bullies? You know, let me stop. I think the number one way, and now moving to the series, we're going to talk more about extroverts and the ways in which they're bullies, is that you want to look at, it's kind of unfair in a certain respect to call an extrovert a bully, because so much of their their way of understanding their own thought process is external. So that's something that we see in ENTPs, particularly because of their extroverted intuition. I think the number one tactic of an ENTP and their bullying is debating. You know, debates that, you know, on the surface are very logical and rational, um, but just below the surface, they can become personal or targeted attacks, direct attacks, which, you know, there's some merit to it. Because, you know, previously when we were talking about introverts and other types that are, you know, very consumed with things that are, you know, socially acceptable, their mode of operation, their way of using violence is passive aggressiveness. So if we look at the violence scale, we move from passive aggressiveness to assertiveness, and then we get into aggression, which is kind of the default mode of an ENTP. When it's used in your favor, it's excellent, of course, because everyone wants, like, a, you know, a both a tough and intellectual person on their side. When it's not in your favor and when it's being used against you, um then obviously that's not the most pleasant thing. And, you know, they're very skilled at debating, mostly being the kings and queens of devil's advocate. That devil's advocate, I mean, at this point, when it comes to ENTPs, they should be getting paid for being the devil's advocate. Like, at this point, the devil really needs to employ them on their law team. And you know, it's kind of like an OJ with the dream team or whatever. Yeah, the dream team lawyers, like the same ones that I think are like defending R. Kelly and Harvey Weinstein. I think Harvey Weinstein has like OJ's lawyers and shit. This is what we're talking about with ENTPs, like getting to the point of um oh my god, what is it called? It's like, it's not chaotic neutral. Hold on, I'm gonna look. Sorry for being like this, guys. I'm gonna look at it. um, yeah, the alignment system. What is it? Chaotic, lawful good, chaotic evil. Yes, 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 yes. So ETPs, honestly, they go from neutral evil to chaotic evil. I'm sorry. Um, it can be a lot to become, you know, um, to be on the receiving end of an ETP, because what you find is that they can give you lots of little cuts, kind of like death by a thousand paper cuts, and if you call them out on it, you kind of end up looking kind of crazy, because it's been so many small things that they've done to kind of throw off your alignment. And I think that's the number one way that they're able to be bullies, is that they can take your general disposition and your general just kind of homeostasis and throw off your homeostasis to where now you're unbalanced and you're lacking a foundation. But I think it's important that, when we talk about energy in the universe, I think I'm kind of going off target now, but if they're throwing off your alignment, that energy has to come back to them. So their energy has to be thrown off too. Like they're in a state of chaos if they're putting you in a state of chaos. Alternatively, when they're actually trying to execute an attack, they can cover all bases and they know every side of an issue probably more than you do, because they have a little bit more of a closer relationship to true violence than the average person. So, if it comes down to a zombie apocalypse, you go find yourself an ENTP. So this is not to be just drag ENTPs or anything. Like, it's very intense. They can be very obnoxious. They want to debate to the end of time. But at the same time, I would call them extremely loyal. And more than that, because of their extrovert intuition, and coupling that with their introverted thinking, like I said, if there's a zombie apocalypse, if there's any sort of post-world or occupied country and we need to get out, you want to find yourself an ENTP, because when it comes down to it, that's the environment that they thrive in, that they've actually been looking for. Like, the rest of us have been living in polite society, but mentally it's a chaotic war field with fucking laser guns and babies and push carts and fire falling from the sky in an ENTP's mind. And so if we actually enter a reality in which that's happening, I'm telling you, you want an ENTP. But for the time being, if we're in generally polite society, you might not want that, But at the same time, if you need someone to defend you, if you need someone to be a champion, of the weak, especially if their ideology kind of aligns with whatever you're trying to do, you 100% want that neutral evil, or that chaotic good energy that ENTPs can, put out into the universe. So that's my spiel on ENTP bullies. Yes, they can be bullies. Yes, they can be bullies in the truest sense of the word. But if there's a whole group of people just bullying, they're not going to be part of that. Because their personal moral code wouldn't align with it. So if you're getting bullied by an ENTP for more than 30 minutes, honestly, they're probably the only person doing that. They're not going to sit there and just be part of a mob and, degrade you. Like, they're not going to do that. They're going to have their ideals and their ideology. And if you test it and they feel like you haven't researched enough, then they will come for you. But unless that happens, which inevitably will happen, because, pretty much no one outside of INTPs research as much as an ENTP. Yeah, that's all I had to say about that. So ENTPs, the logical bullies, let's call them that.